Imagine if just 3 hours could transform your life, freeing you from stress, anxiety, and uncertainty. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism holds the key to a more resilient, focused, and fulfilling life. Join us to explore practical steps that can reshape your mindset, boost your resilience, and change your life in just 3 hours. In today's fast-paced world, where stress and anxiety are common, many seek ways to find peace and resilience. What if an ancient philosophy from over 2,000 years ago could provide the tools we need to thrive today? This is the power of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches contentment and strength by embracing virtue, wisdom, and controlling our reactions to the world. In the next 3 hours, we'll dive into Stoicism's origins, key concepts, and the lives of Stoic philosophers. More importantly, we'll uncover practical strategies from Stoic teachings that you can apply immediately. These strategies will help you develop mental clarity, emotional strength, and a profound sense of inner peace. By the end, you'll have a deeper understanding of Stoicism and practical tools to tackle life's challenges. You'll learn to turn obstacles into opportunities, stress into serenity, and uncertainty into understanding. If you're ready to transform your life with Stoic wisdom, let's take the first step together. Welcome to 3 hours to transform your life with Stoicism. Let the transformation begin. Don't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm means that self-care and kindness should go hand in hand. This wisdom, rooted in ancient Stoic teachings, is a reminder that while being kind is good, it shouldn't come at the cost of your self-esteem. In today's world, the push to always help others can sometimes lead to habits that harm our well-being. But how much does it cost? Too much kindness is not a virtue when it drains your own resources, energy, and health. It can lead to ruin. Many people give so much that they feel empty, unappreciated, and worn out. In this modern tragedy, well-meaning people end up doing harm. Stoicism offers a different way to be generous without losing yourself. It teaches us how to be kind without being mean to ourselves, how to be generous in a way that improves others' lives while also looking after our own. It's time to show how Stoic principles can help you set healthy limits so that your kindness builds you up instead of draining you. We'll discuss how to give without taking away, love without hurting, and be there for others without neglecting our own lives. Follow us as we use Stoic wisdom to find the balance between being kind and taking care of ourselves. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Marcus Aurelius, a wise Stoic philosopher, warned against unnecessary kindness. Picture yourself as someone always willing to help and never saying no, giving away parts of yourself until there's nothing left. You become someone always there for others, but when you need help, you're alone. Being kind to others is important, but being kind to yourself is even more important. Marcus would remind us that self-care is our first duty. We can't truly help others without it. Think about the story of two gardeners who lived next door. One took great care of their own garden, while the other, despite having their own plot, often helped with others' gardens. The diligent gardener, knowing the value of self-care, gave their garden the right amount of care and resources, making it vibrant and growing. This gardener's plot not only brought them joy, but also served as a positive example for others. But they also had extra food to share with their neighbors. The other gardener, on the other hand, spent so much time and energy on other people's gardens that they neglected their own. As a result, their garden withered and didn't produce much. This serves as a reminder to think about your needs before helping others. Ask yourself if the help you offer is sustainable. Are you taking care of your health by setting healthy boundaries? In our efforts to be kind, we shouldn't forget to be kind to ourselves. The ancient Stoics would advise us to practice Stoicism because you can't pour from an empty cup. Stoicism teaches us to maintain our inner peace and integrity while improving others' lives, leading to a balanced and fulfilling life. Generosity is a good trait that enhances our lives and those around us, but it can be harmful if not practiced in moderation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy still relevant today, teaches us crucial lessons about the limits of kindness. It's good to help others with an open heart, but it can be disappointing to expect the same level of kindness in return. Life often shows us that the good we do today might not be remembered tomorrow. This isn't a reflection of our worth or our actions' value, it's simply human nature. Giving is like planting a tree. You care for it, hoping it will grow and maybe provide shade or fruit one day. However, nature takes its course with storms, droughts, and seasons. When we show kindness, we should let go of the expectation of receiving something in return. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, advised us to focus on our actions rather than their outcomes. We can't always control what happens, and this should remind us that the joy of giving comes from the act itself, not from expecting something in return. This mindset protects us from the pain of unmet expectations and builds our emotional resilience, allowing us to continue being kind and generous without feeling worn out or exploited. This doesn't mean we should harden our hearts, it means finding balance. Don't see the effect of your kindness as a transaction, but as a reflection of who you are. By adopting this perspective, we protect our peace of mind and cultivate a form of generosity that is pure, self-sustaining, and truly satisfying. This Stoic principle encourages us to give freely, but wisely, so that our kindness makes us better no matter what others do. How can you use the Stoic principle of giving without expecting anything in return in your daily life? Imagine a situation where you can show kindness or help someone without expecting anything in return. Then, think about how you can ensure that your generosity remains a source of joy instead of draining you. 3. No limits on received requests. Looking back at history, it's fascinating to see how much service royalty required, from getting dressed to keeping themselves clean, all done by attendants. Even now, people often expect favors they could easily do themselves. Stoicism teaches the importance of setting limits and practicing moderation. This philosophy serves as a guide to navigate the sea of endless requests and maintain our emotional health. Stoicism isn't about refusing help, but finding balance so we don't lose ourselves while helping others. One moving story is about a mother and her adult daughter living in a small town. The mother, out of love, cared for her daughter so much that she wouldn't let her handle her own duties. This continued until the mother passed away unexpectedly, which forced the daughter to become more independent. This story illustrates that, even with good intentions, too much help can hinder growth. This wisdom is reflected in the words of the Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations. A man's job is to stand upright, not to be kept upright by others. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, noted, "He who becomes your friend because of the benefit will also stop because of the benefit." This reminds us to build relationships based on genuine connections, not transactions. Friendship and help should depend on mutual respect and understanding, not on what we can give each other. Stoicism teaches us to value ourselves not for what we can do, but for who we are. But also helps us connect with others in a genuine way. Stoicism gives us the strength to be moderate, set limits, and protect our health while still helping others. By putting our needs first and responsibilities second, we stay true to ourselves and perform more meaningful acts of kindness. This balanced approach to life and relationships allows us to live happily and according to our values. Remember, taking care of our own needs is not selfish, it's necessary for a fulfilling life. 4. Being seen and treated as weak. Stoicism teaches self-command and inner resilience, helping us build a strong internal foundation. Learning to control ourselves and set clear boundaries marks our personal space. Ironically, always going the extra mile for others can make us appear weak. Without clear limits, people may take advantage of our kindness, seeing it as an opportunity rather than a strength. This cycle drains us, leaving us feeling unappreciated and overworked. However, when we start to firmly say no, we change this dynamic. We become less of a go-to person for every need or request. Being assertive shows that we value our time and energy, leading others to respect us. Seneca, an important figure in Stoic philosophy, said it best: what you think of yourself is much more important than what others think of you. By setting limits and being self-disciplined, we protect our mental and emotional health while gaining respect from those around us. Remember, the word no has the power to change things. It reflects how much you value yourself and the respect you expect from others. Adopting this mindset can transform your relationships, promoting respect based on self-worth and dignity. Implementing this change can be challenging. Always being available often attracts those who need help, leaving you out of the spotlight when it's time to celebrate. This painful realization helps distinguish between genuine connections and those seeking convenience. Being mindful of who we give our time and energy to is a Stoic practice that reveals the true value of relationships. Setting boundaries is a crucial Stoic principle that not only enhances our happiness but also improves our relationships. People often respect us more when we are strong enough to say no. This psychological fact highlights the transformative power of self-respect and the importance of being discerning in our relationships. Stoic wisdom protects us from burnout and enriches our interactions with others, but also build relationships that are mutually beneficial. If you found this useful so far, give it a thumbs up. Now, let's discuss ways to protect ourselves from being used by others and from the negative effects of excessive kindness. Overcoming the fear of saying no. First, overcome your fear of saying no. Consider why no often feels heavy and how it might stem from learning that being nice means always accepting others. These lessons are ingrained from a young age and tied to a fear of rejection, creating a belief that our worth equals being accepted all the time. Stoicism encourages us to question and dismantle these beliefs, promoting a life of free will rather than one controlled by past conditioning. As adults, we can change our interactions, knowing that childhood fears no longer control us. Stoicism gives us mental tools to examine our feelings and understand their meaning. This helps us handle life's challenges without old habits taking over. Saying no to requests that cross our boundaries, especially when they harm our well-being or sense of fairness, is a way to fight old fears and show self-respect and independence. Balancing assertiveness with emotional intelligence. It's important to balance our newfound assertiveness with emotional intelligence and empathy. Stoicism doesn't just support self-interest or isolation, it stresses the importance of positively impacting our community and the lives of those around us. The philosophy urges us to find a middle ground where we can help and support others without risking our health. These situations require emotional intelligence to recognize when and how to help in a way that benefits both us and the other person. True Stoic wisdom is shown by recognizing others' genuine needs while keeping our own limits in mind. This ensures our acts of kindness are self-disciplined and contribute to mutual respect and beneficial relationships. In summary, Stoicism teaches us to overcome the fear of saying no and question ingrained beliefs, set clear boundaries to protect our well-being, balance assertiveness with emotional intelligence and empathy, make a positive impact without neglecting our own needs. By adopting these principles, we can create a balanced, fulfilling life and build relationships based on mutual respect and benefit, but also compassionate and understanding. This helps build a society where people respect and help each other. Second tip, pay attention to how you feel. Adopting Stoicism encourages introspection and mindfulness, pushing us to examine our feelings and thoughts, building mental resilience. This ancient wisdom advises us to take care of our inner peace by being mindful of our reactions and feelings, especially when performing acts of kindness. Helping others should feel good, like how clouds lighten the sky. If you feel exhausted, irritated, or exploited, it's a sign you need to reassess your approach. Recognizing when your contributions diminish your serenity is crucial. Being honest about how you feel is an act of self-care, preventing kindness from becoming a source of stress and pain. Third tip, put yourself first. In the quest to help others, it's easy to neglect your own health. Making time for self-care is essential, aligning with the Stoic virtues of discipline and self-esteem. Stoicism, beneficial for the soul, teaches self-sufficiency. Instead of neglecting yourself, take care of your physical, emotional, and mental health. Recognize your needs and prioritize them. Fully embrace self-acceptance, forgive past mistakes, and see each new day as a chance for Stoic renewal. Choose activities that bring you joy and use this time to show self-love. Maintain your boundaries and don't feel guilty for saying no if others' demands encroach on your personal space. Help as much as you can while ensuring your own well-being comes first. Fourth tip, discern who will take advantage. Adopting Stoic virtues like self-discipline and discernment empowers us to distinguish between relationships that uplift and those that drain us. Recognize the people who always want more and assess their impact on your life. Stoicism teaches us to balance compassion with wisdom, ensuring that we invest our energy in mutually beneficial relationships. This discernment helps us maintain healthy boundaries, protecting our mental and emotional health. By adopting these Stoic principles, you can 1. Overcome the fear of saying no and question ingrained beliefs. 2. Pay attention to your feelings to ensure your kindness doesn't become a source of stress. 3. Prioritize self-care and maintain boundaries. 4. Discern relationships that are beneficial from those that are exploitative. These steps not only protect you from burnout, but also build a compassionate and respectful community. Stoicism helps us live balanced, fulfilling lives while fostering genuine, mutually beneficial relationships. Whether it's attention, time, or resources, can drain us. Stoicism teaches the importance of inner strength and reminds us that true change can only come from within. It's a mistake to think we can change others just by being nice. Lasting change is a personal journey that starts with one's own willpower, not with outside help. This philosophy doesn't encourage being cold-hearted, but supports a balanced way of handling relationships. In the dance of give and take, being too generous can leave us empty, while being too stingy can make us feel isolated. Stoicism advises us to be kind and generous, but also to think things through and cut ties when it's best for our health. It's about finding balance and ensuring our acts of kindness don't drain our energy. Remember, the best relationships are those where both people grow, not where one person sacrifices everything for the other to flourish. Stoicism urges us to consider how our actions affect others and to keep our generosity in check. It tells us not to spend everything on others at the expense of our happiness, but also not to be too frugal. Seneca, a great Stoic thinker, said it best: kindness is a treasure. A benefit should be kept like a buried treasure to be unearthed only in case of necessity. His words remind us to be ready to be kind, recognizing the deep bond that exists between all people. Quick mind exercise. Before we continue, let's do a quick mind exercise to harness the power of your mind and master your thoughts through the wisdom of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not over outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Let's explore how to use Marcus's words to gain mental strength. 1. Don't care what other people think. Pay attention to your mind instead. An important part of mastering your mind is letting go of how others see you. This shift directs your attention away from the noise of the world and toward the clarity of your own thoughts. The first step is to realize that the only thing you truly control is your mind. It never ceases to amaze me that we all love ourselves more than other people, yet we care more about their opinions than our own. Implementing Stoic wisdom. By adopting these principles, you can 1. Overcome the fear of saying no, question ingrained beliefs, and set clear boundaries. 2. Pay attention to how you feel. Ensure your kindness doesn't become a source of stress. 3. Prioritize self-care. Maintain boundaries and focus on your well-being. 4. Discern relationships. Distinguish between beneficial and draining relationships. 5. Master your mind. Focus on your thoughts rather than others' opinions. These steps protect you from burnout and build a compassionate, respectful community. Stoicism helps us live balanced, fulfilling lives while fostering genuine, mutually beneficial relationships. Terrain. To navigate it successfully, one must develop emotional resilience, and Stoicism provides the tools to do so. 2. Build emotional resilience. Lucius Annaeus Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher, said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." This principle is central to building emotional resilience. In our fast-paced world, challenges and adversities are inevitable. Stoicism teaches us to embrace these difficulties as opportunities for growth. Imagine a young artist who, despite showing great potential, was paralyzed by the fear of judgment. Each brushstroke was accompanied by anxiety about others' opinions. This changed when he discovered Stoicism. He learned that his worth was determined by his own opinion and that criticism was merely superficial noise. By focusing inward, his art blossomed into a true expression of his inner world, free from the fear of judgment. This transformation illustrates how turning inward and mastering one's mind can lead to profound change. 3. Embrace challenges as growth opportunities. This path is not easy. It requires constant effort to resist seeking approval from others. However, this discipline leads to true freedom. Stoic philosophy encourages us to focus on our internal world rather than external opinions. By doing so, we celebrate our capacity for judgment, resilience, and growth. 4. Accept trials as necessary for perfection. Seneca's wisdom reminds us that trials and challenges are essential for our development. Just as friction polishes a gem, adversities perfect our character. Embracing this mindset allows us to view difficulties as stepping stones to personal growth and emotional strength. 1. Shift focus inward. Prioritize your own thoughts and values over others' opinions. 2. Recognize personal worth. Understand that your worth is determined by your own self-awareness, not external validation. 3. Embrace adversity. View challenges as opportunities for growth and development. 4. Develop emotional resilience. Practice self-reflection and mindfulness to build inner strength. Stoicism is a modern philosophy that helps you live with peace and strength by building emotional resilience and mastering your mind. By focusing on your internal world, you can navigate life's challenges with a sense of calm and purpose. This balanced approach fosters genuine, mutually beneficial relationships and helps you lead a fulfilling life. By adopting these Stoic principles, you can 1. Overcome the fear of saying no and set clear boundaries. 2. Pay attention to your feelings to ensure your kindness doesn't become a source of stress. 3. Prioritize self-care and maintain boundaries. 4. Discern beneficial relationships from those that drain you. 5. Master your mind by focusing on your own thoughts rather than others' opinions. 6. Embrace challenges as opportunities for personal growth and resilience. These steps not only protect you from burnout, but also help you build a compassionate and respectful community. Stoicism helps us live balanced, fulfilling lives while fostering genuine, mutually beneficial relationships. Embracing challenges on life's trail. Life is an exciting trail where problems and difficulties are bound to happen every day, just like the sun rising every morning. Along this never-ending path, you may occasionally find yourself caught in the thorny vines of hardships, anxiety, or heartbreak. These are not signs of weakness, they are chances to build strong, unwavering resilience. Failures along your journey are not just small disappointments, but valuable lessons that come in the form of temporary defeat. Use the strength you already have to turn every problem into a chance to grow. We understand that it's not easy. You were given a difficult climb, so it makes sense to feel overwhelmed at times. Instead, consider how you could use this adversity to your advantage and move closer to your goals. Long-lasting resilience is built on bravery and persistence that keep your spirit going through hard times. Emotional resilience. Getting stronger emotionally is like forging steel in fire. Think about the journey of a young business owner whose startup was about to fail because of the economy. He felt down every time he failed, was turned down, or faced setbacks. Yet he kept going, seeing each problem as a lesson in disguise. This person not only survived the ordeal but emerged stronger, more flexible, and with a clearer idea of how to move forward. Facing adversity head-on and drawing strength from it is key to emotional resilience. Mastering your perception of difficulty is the first step in developing emotional resilience. Stoicism teaches that events and outcomes don't have inherent good or bad qualities. Our thoughts about them determine our feelings and reactions. Emotional resilience doesn't mean ignoring setbacks or pain. It means realizing you have the power and wisdom to understand them in a way that helps you grow and strengthens your inner self. Accepting Stoic wisdom. Accept this wisdom, recognize your strength, and improve the story of your journey by taking control of your mind. Use the power of perception to navigate life's challenges. Picture walking along a familiar path, a regular trail you've been on many times before. A moment of unexpected chaos occurs when your foot slips and you find yourself stumbling. But what if you could train yourself to see the step instead of the fall? This aligns with Epictetus's wisdom that men are troubled not by things themselves, but by their opinions about things. Practical steps to implement Stoic wisdom. Shift focus inward, prioritize your own thoughts and values over others' opinions. Recognize personal worth, understand that your worth is determined by your own self-awareness, not external validation. Embrace adversity, view challenges as opportunities for growth and development. Develop emotional resilience, practice self-reflection and mindfulness to build inner strength. Master your perception, train yourself to see the positive in challenging situations. By adopting these Stoic principles, you can protect yourself from burnout and build a compassionate, respectful community. Stoicism helps you live a balanced, fulfilling life while fostering genuine, mutually beneficial relationships. But what our thoughts make it. Perception is like a window to the outside world. It helps us understand what we see. It's easy to forget that we can change how we see the world, especially when things are tough or unclear. When life throws you into rough seas, it doesn't always mean you're going to drown. It could mean you're being given a chance to learn how to swim. Steer your mind toward thoughts that help you instead of ones that hurt you, like an experienced captain guiding a ship through a storm. For instance, if your work presentation didn't go as planned, don't see it as a failure. Rather, see it as a valuable lesson that improves your ability and resilience for future tasks. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or skimming over mistakes. It means acknowledging them without letting them define your sense of self or your abilities. To really master this art of perception, you need to be patient and practice a lot. Perception is like a muscle. The more you work on controlling it, the stronger it gets. As a habit, question negative points of view and replace them with ones that make you feel good. Over time, this process becomes automatic, helping you master your mind. There is wisdom in choosing how to handle the falls and stumbles that happen in life. We can turn problems into opportunities by understanding and using our mental lens, which is the power to see things differently. When trouble arises, picture yourself as a wrestler whom the logos, like a trainer, has paired with a rough young man. This reminds us of the Stoic saying the real man is revealed in difficult times. Think of every mistake as a learning opportunity that will help you take control of your mind. Follow what nature tells you to do. Have you ever been through something that threw your inner compass off, like being fired without warning, losing a loved one suddenly, or getting turned down for a job? Remember what Marcus Aurelius said, life is nothing but what our thoughts make it. This wisdom teaches us to align with nature and accept what happens without resistance. When faced with unexpected challenges, focus on what you can control, your thoughts and reactions. By doing so, you maintain inner peace and resilience. Perception is a powerful tool. It can transform how you experience and respond to life's challenges. By changing how you view events, you can turn setbacks into opportunities for growth. This Stoic practice strengthens your mental resilience, helping you navigate life's difficulties with grace and strength. But change is nature's delight. This ties in with the fourth lesson of our journey to master our minds: do what nature says. Uncertainty and change are necessary for life, but they are not necessarily harmful to tranquility. On the contrary, these sudden changes in the wind of fate give us chances to adapt and grow. When you don't know what will happen, don't freeze up in despair or let fear cloud your judgment. Instead, move forward with the knowledge that change is a normal part of life. We can navigate life's turbulent undercurrents with serenity if we align ourselves with nature's ebbs and flows. Do we curse the skies if Mother Nature lets it rain on a sunny day or throws a storm into a clear night sky? We don't think so, because we know that everything is natural and out of our control. This is how we should deal with life's rough waves: accept them and adapt with resilience. By accepting the flow of life and sailing with the tides of change, you can experience a level of tranquility and empowerment that is unmatched. Nature and life itself are not things that we can change to fit our needs. Instead, we need to learn how to flow with them naturally and gracefully without losing sight of who we are. Be disciplined with yourself. Think about your life so far and how it has changed you. You've probably encountered distractions that tempted you to go off track, like wanting to binge watch your favorite show instead of studying for an exam, or having one too many slices of cake while trying to stay on track with your diet. The nobility of their ambitions and the strength of their self-discipline was a thought that the great Stoic philosopher Seneca had. This is a beautiful reflection of another important lesson in mastering your mind: practice self-discipline. To become self-master, we must first understand and admit how important self-discipline is for protecting our life goals. It's the shield that keeps us from losing our valuable time and energy to other things. It's like a skilled gardener who takes care of a huge number of colorful flower beds. It doesn't matter how pretty those rose bushes are, they'll take just as much care of their tulips and sunflowers. How then does one cultivate such a mind? Pay close attention to times when temptations try to steer you wrong. When you see these things, don't look at them with a harsh eye of judgment. Instead, see them as normal parts of life. When you know what distracts you from your path, it's easier to come up with ways to stop these distractions. Like a gardener who grows different flowers, you need to be able to see and deal with each distraction with unwavering determination. From avoiding temptations in our personal lives to building mental toughness for work, practicing self-discipline helps us stay on course and achieve our goals. Self-discipline is, without a doubt, one of the most important building blocks of mind mastery. When you feel like giving up or the temptation to give in is strong, remember Epictetus's wise words: "No great thing is created suddenly." Practicing self-discipline is the same way. It's a journey that never ends and requires constant attention and effort. Enjoy the present moment. Have you ever been so caught up in thinking about a regret or a worry that you forgot to enjoy the beauty of the moment, like a sunset? Too often people are physically present, but mentally somewhere else. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not let the panorama of your life oppress you. Do not dwell on all the different problems that may have happened in the past or may happen in the future. Just think about the present and what can fix it." We should try to enjoy life as it happens, one precious moment at a time. Every breath we take and every feeling we have should bring us back to the present moment. Don't think about a finished chapter in the past or an unwritten chapter in the future. These thoughts take away from the power and beauty of living in and enjoying the present. Instead of dwelling on things that are out of your control, enjoy the present and apply your energy to making it better here and now. Time doesn't wait for anyone and always slips through our fingers, leaving us walking a thin line between our memories of the past and our hopes for the future. To find the real power of life, though, we have to realize that right now is all we have. Let yourself enjoy every sunrise, every compliment you receive, every cup of coffee you drink, and every conversation you have. Immerse yourself fully in the present moment. It's about enjoying every part of today without letting the shadows of yesterday or the unknowns of tomorrow dim its light. Seneca advised, "Live as if you were already living for the second time, and as if you had acted the first time as wrongly as you are about to act now." Mastering your mind begins with mastering this very moment. Follow this philosophy and be amazed at how it can change you as you work to become mentally strong. Make or join a group of people who can help you grow. Imagine a hiker by themselves climbing the highest cliff in the middle of a forest that never ends. The view from above might be beautiful, but the journey is challenging and lonely. This illustrates the importance of community and personal growth. Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals who encourage and support you can make a significant difference. Find or create a group of people who share your goals and values. This community can provide motivation, accountability, and valuable insights as you navigate the path to self-improvement. Whether it's a formal group an informal gathering, or even a virtual community, having a support network can help you stay on track and inspire you to keep pushing forward. By practicing these principles, you can develop a strong, resilient mind capable of navigating life's challenges with grace and strength. Enjoy the present moment, practice self-discipline, and build a supportive community to help you grow. These steps will lead you to a fulfilling and balanced life, enriched by genuine, mutually beneficial relationships. But the journey by yourself can be very quiet and, well, by yourself. Now, instead of that lone hiker, think of a group of explorers on the same trip. The ordeal seems a lot less scary now, doesn't it? In his timeless Stoic wisdom, Marcus Aurelius said, "Mankind are made for each other either to teach them better or bear with them." This is a very important lesson for mastering your mind. Communities are supportive places where people with similar interests and values can learn from each other. You can increase the collective force behind each step toward your goals by collaborating with people who have the same goals in mind as you do. An uplifting community is one where people can teach and learn, be inspired, and be motivated. Let's leave the realm of metaphors for a moment and go on this trip. If you see a chance to join a book club, don't think twice, just do it. You'll be intellectually satisfied and help other people do the same. You meet other people on this journey to mental mastery and decide to work together with them. As important as it is to grow as a person, it's also important to help others. Building or being a part of communities that support each other's growth is good for everyone. It helps you grow personally and also helps the group move forward. Seneca tells us, associate with people who are likely to make you better in the end. You are empowering yourself while empowering others on their own mental mastery journey, a sign of our progress together on this path of life. Have you ever thought about what makes some people smarter and better at learning than others? Want to get the skills and information you need to do well in your personal and professional life? You're in the right place, if so. Here, we'll talk about how to be smarter than everyone else. We'll look at strategies and tips that can help you learn better, understand better, and use what you know in your everyday life. This journey will give you the tools you need to make the most of your intelligence, a valuable asset that can improve every part of your life. To summarize, community support: engage with communities that share your goals. They provide motivation, accountability, and a collective push towards success. Embrace opportunities. Don't hesitate to join groups or activities that align with your interests. They offer intellectual satisfaction and mutual growth. Help and be helped. Supporting others in their growth journey benefits everyone, fostering an environment of shared learning and improvement. Learn and grow together. Find and associate with people who inspire and challenge you to be better. Mutual empowerment enhances personal and collective progress. By implementing these principles, you can create a supportive network that not only aids in your mental mastery, but also enriches your overall life experience. If you want to reach your full intellectual potential and take on challenges with a clear head, please keep watching. We're going to look at these 10 keys together. They will help you become smarter and do better in any area you choose. Get ready for a journey that will help you learn more about yourself and grow intellectually. First, encourage curiosity. To grow, your curiosity is like starting a spark of intelligence. Think of your curiosity as a compass that leads you through huge amounts of information. By being curious all the time, you become someone who is always ready to find answers, which is one way to be smarter than other people. Imagine you are a college student learning about history in class. You have never heard of this subject in ancient history before your professor brought it up. Instead of passively taking in the information from the teacher, you display interest during class. You inquire about what led to and resulted from events in this history. You wonder why people in the past behaved the way they did and how this event might have affected the world we live in now. Your curiosity drives you to learn more. You start reading more books and other materials about this subject after class. You search online and take part in discussions. This will not only help you understand the subject better, but also help you see history and its relevance to our present lives in a broader perspective. Your interest has led you to learn new things and broaden your views, making you smarter about understanding and interacting with the world around you. If you're interested, you'll ask why and how things work instead of just accepting them as they are. It makes you want to learn more, question what you think you know, and challenge your beliefs. With every question you ask and every new thing you learn, you are broadening your intellectual horizons. Curiosity helps us discover the world's wonders, from the secrets of the universe to the mysteries of our own bodies and minds. By encouraging curiosity, you set yourself on a path of continuous learning and growth, which is the first step to achieving your full intellectual potential, but also a gateway to a deeper understanding of the world around you. It's not just about gathering information, it's about truly understanding it. Being curious helps you see beyond the obvious and make connections between seemingly unrelated things. How to foster curiosity. First, look at the world around you as if it were brand new. Check things out and ask questions if you don't understand them. Open yourself up to new experiences all the time. Read books about a wide range of topics and learn about other cultures. Remember that curiosity sparks the fire of learning. By nurturing it, you are already ahead. Second, read widely and often. Reading a lot of different kinds of books is a great way to improve your knowledge and intelligence. When you read widely, it's like opening a treasure chest full of information, experiences, and thoughts. Imagine yourself traveling to faraway places through the pages of a book. You can access knowledge that has been gathered over many generations and from various cultures. The wisdom of people who lived hundreds of years ago can be accessed through reading. Books cover a vast array of topics, from history and science to philosophy and fiction. Every page offers a chance for learning, reflection, and perspective expansion. Reading makes you smarter, whether you're diving into the complexities of quantum physics, exploring human relationships in a novel, or uncovering the mysteries of ancient civilizations. Reading also helps build your vocabulary and language skills, which are crucial for communicating clearly and effectively. It encourages critical thinking and stimulates your imagination. It helps you understand different cultures and see the world in new ways. Many influential people in history were voracious readers who drew ideas and inspiration from books. By following in their footsteps, you can discover new ways to use your intelligence and get ahead. Reading widely is not just a habit, it's a powerful tool for personal and intellectual growth. 1. Foster curiosity. Look at the world with fresh eyes, ask questions, and seek new experiences. 2. Read widely, explore books on various subjects to expand your knowledge and perspective. 3. Understand deeply, go beyond gathering information to truly understanding and connecting ideas. 4. Enhance communication, improve your vocabulary and language skills through extensive reading. 5. Think critically, use reading to develop critical thinking and imagination. 6. Embrace diverse perspectives, learn about different cultures and viewpoints to broaden your horizons. By adopting these practices, you can achieve your full intellectual potential and tackle challenges with a clear, informed mind. This journey will help you grow intellectually and better understand yourself and the world around you, but also a way to learn new things and expand your horizons. Before you start this reading journey, you should make a list of books on a wide range of topics. Reading books, articles, or blogs about things that interest you is a good place to start. This could be art, history, business, science, or something else. The important thing is to ensure your list is varied and full of different topics so you can discover new ideas and information. Once you have a list of books to read, set aside time every day or every week to read. View this time as a valuable chance to reflect on and learn from the works you've chosen. Allow yourself to absorb the lessons from the books and materials you encounter and enjoy the process. Joining book clubs or discussion groups is another way to enhance your reading experience. This will help you connect with people who share your interests and engage in deep conversations about what you've read. You can share your thoughts and opinions and also learn from what others have to say. It's a great way to discover new books and get recommendations from fellow enthusiasts. Reading widely is an excellent way to stand out and gain a wealth of knowledge in a world full of information. It will help you become smarter than others by using the variety and depth of literature to improve yourself and your thinking. By constantly feeding your soul with books and ideas, you enhance your intellectual growth. Third, keep a growth mindset. Maintaining a growth mindset is one of the most important things you can do to keep growing smarter throughout your life. This mindset comes from a strong belief that your skills, knowledge, and awareness can naturally improve through hard work, learning, and perseverance. Instead of avoiding situations where you might fail or struggle, this mindset helps you embrace challenges and difficulties as learning opportunities. With a growth mindset, you approach challenges with courage and determination, understanding that failure is a normal part of the learning process and not a reflection of your abilities. You are more likely to embrace innovation and maximize your current skills if you keep your mind open. This could mean learning new things, expanding your knowledge in different areas, and improving what you already know how to do. Being open to constructive feedback is a significant part of continuing intellectual growth. Instead of seeing feedback as something that could hurt your self-esteem, view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. You recognize that your perspective is valuable, and you understand that those around you can offer a world of wisdom. Practical steps to foster a growth mindset. 1. Embrace challenges, see them as opportunities for learning rather than threats to your self-esteem. 2. Persist through setbacks, understand that failure is a part of the learning process and use it as a stepping stone. 3. Seek feedback, actively look for constructive criticism and use it to improve. 4. Celebrate effort, recognize the importance of effort in achieving mastery. 5. Be inspired by others, learn from others' successes, and let them inspire your own growth. By adopting these practices, you can develop a mindset that supports continuous learning and improvement, helping you become smarter and more capable in every area of your life. This approach not only enhances your intellectual abilities, but also prepares you to face and overcome challenges with resilience and creativity. Let's say you are a young person who is in school and working on your career. One day you get the results of an important test and find out you failed. Instead of giving up and feeling insecure, you choose to see this failure as a chance to learn and grow. You don't give up or avoid that subject. Instead, you choose to learn from your flaws and mistakes to get better at it. You make a new study plan, look for useful learning materials, and work harder to improve. Because you have a growth mindset, You not only overcome failure but also excel in that subject. You discover that you are becoming stronger, more flexible, and better able to deal with challenges in the future. Having a growth mindset is a lifelong journey that requires commitment, dedication, and persistence. It means taking on challenges, looking for ways to grow, and always striving to reach your full potential. With this mindset, you set yourself up for lifelong learning and intellectual growth. You make room for new opportunities and broaden your views. Remember that your intelligence is not fixed, it evolves over time. You can reach amazing intellectual heights and achieve things you never thought possible with a growth mindset. Accept failure and use it to learn. If you want to be smarter than other people, you need to accept that failure is part of the path to success. It's possible to gain useful insights, learn from your mistakes, and get stronger when you fail. Failure is not a setback, it is a way to move forward. Failure teaches us something, gives us a chance to reflect, and offers an opportunity to improve. Let's say you are an entrepreneur who wants to start a new business. You face many challenges and setbacks in the beginning stages. Your product might not satisfy the market's needs, your marketing plan might not attract customers, or you might be having financial difficulties. You don't give up. Instead, you keep going and learn from your mistakes. You look at what went wrong, figure out what could be done better, and then change how you do things. Practical steps to embrace failure and learn from it. 1. Reflect on failures. Take time to understand what went wrong and why. 2. Learn from mistakes. Identify the lessons you can learn from each failure. 3. Adjust your approach. Make necessary changes to your strategy or methods. 4. Stay persistent. Keep going despite setbacks, knowing that each failure is a step towards success. 5. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge and celebrate progress, no matter how small. By embracing failure and using it as a learning tool, you can turn setbacks into opportunities for growth. This approach not only makes you smarter but also builds resilience and adaptability, essential qualities for long-term success. Remember, the key to intellectual and personal growth is not to avoid failure but to learn from it and keep moving forward. You gain useful experience, improve your business model, and eventually become successful by following this process. Resilience, humility, and courage are necessary for accepting failure. It means being honest about your flaws, willing to listen to feedback, and ready to change. When you accept failure, you liberate yourself from the fear of making mistakes and allow yourself to take risks. You come up with new, creative, and flexible ideas more often. Accepting failure also helps you develop a growth mindset, seeing challenges as opportunities to learn and improve. Remember, failure is not the opposite of success, it is an important part of it. You become smarter and set yourself up for future success when you accept failure and learn from it. Learn how to think critically. Critical thinking means being able to analyze, evaluate, and make sense of information in a fair and logical way. It helps you question what you think you know, see things from different points of view, and make smart choices. To understand complicated issues and solve problems effectively, you need to develop your critical thinking skills. This involves having an open mind, being skeptical, and being intellectually curious. Imagine you are a student working on a school project. When you get information from different sources that contradict each other, it can be hard to determine which ones to trust. Instead of taking things at face value, you choose to use critical thinking skills. You carefully judge the reliability of each source by considering factors like the expertise of the author, the reputation of the publication, and the evidence provided. You also examine the arguments, identify any logical fallacies, and decide if the conclusions are valid. By doing this, you can differentiate between trustworthy and unreliable information, helping you write a well-thought-out, evidence-based research project. To improve your critical thinking skills, you need to be intellectually humble, ready to admit when you're wrong, and willing to change your mind if new information arises. Being intellectually honest, avoiding biases, and considering all relevant information before concluding are also crucial. Learning how to think critically makes you a smarter and more analytical thinker who can handle the complexities of the modern world with ease and confidence. You will have more information to make informed decisions, solve problems, and contribute meaningfully to society. Key takeaways for developing critical thinking. Analyze information. Assess the credibility of sources and the validity of arguments. Be open-minded. Consider different perspectives and be willing to change your mind. Avoid biases. Strive for intellectual honesty and fairness in your evaluations. Practice skepticism. Question assumptions and seek evidence. Reflect and learn. Continuously refine your thinking based on new insights and feedback. One of the most important things you can do to become smarter is to learn how to think critically. This skill empowers you to navigate information effectively, make sound decisions, and solve problems creatively. By cultivating critical thinking, you enhance your intellectual capabilities and better prepare yourself for the challenges and opportunities of life. It gives you the power to think more clearly, reason better, and connect with the world around you in deeper ways. Take on the challenge of improving your critical thinking skills today to reach your full intellectual potential. Learn how to listen actively. Active listening is an important skill for getting things done and growing as a person. It means giving the speaker your full attention, listening carefully, and trying to see things from their point of view. To listen actively, you need to understand, be patient, and keep an open mind. Giving the speaker your full attention means being in the present moment and putting other things aside. Let's say you are in a group discussion at work. You notice some of your coworkers are not paying attention when one of them talks about their thoughts on a certain subject. They are looking at their phones, doodling, or having side conversations. You don't want to be like them, so you choose to listen actively. You look at the person speaking and nod occasionally to show you are paying attention. By not interrupting or inserting your own thoughts, you allow them to express themselves fully. You also ask clarifying questions and summarize important points to ensure you fully understand their perspective. By actively listening, you show that you respect the other person and create an environment where people feel comfortable sharing their ideas. Active listening means not only understanding what someone says, but also how they feel and what they intend to convey. You need to be willing to understand, care about, and see things from the speaker's point of view. You can improve your communication, strengthen your relationships, and learn a lot about other people's thoughts and feelings by practicing active listening. You also become a more thoughtful and caring person who can make meaningful connections and collaborate effectively with others. In conclusion, active listening is a crucial skill for improving your mind and yourself. It enhances your ability to understand others, fosters better communication, and helps build stronger, more meaningful relationships. By making active listening a part of your daily interactions, you contribute to a more empathetic and collaborative environment, benefiting both your personal and professional life. It helps you connect with others more deeply, see things from different angles, and understand the world better. Resolve to use active listening in all of your daily interactions and see how your relationships and mind grow. Learn how to solve problems. Solving problems is an important part of being smart and learning. It entails identifying challenges, considering potential solutions, and putting effective plans into action to achieve the desired results. To get better at solving problems, you need to be creative, persistent, and willing to take risks. It means looking at problems with a positive outlook and believing that you can get past them. Let's say you have a tough problem at work. Your team is struggling to meet a tight deadline, and it doesn't look like there's a way out. Instead of giving up or feeling overwhelmed, you choose to use your problem-solving skills. You gather your team members to brainstorm ideas and explore different approaches. You promote open communication and creative thinking by encouraging everyone to look at things from various perspectives and question assumptions. By working together and trying new approaches, you develop a strategic plan of action and make efficient use of your resources to solve the problem. The challenges are thus overcome, and you succeed within the allotted time. To get better at solving problems, you need to practice, be persistent, and be ready to learn from your mistakes. It means being flexible in your methods and open to feedback and new ideas. When you improve your problem-solving abilities, you become more resourceful, creative, and resilient in the face of adversity. Additionally, you feel more capable of meeting challenges and achieving your objectives. By accepting our flaws and working to improve our character, we develop the virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. These virtues guide us out of mediocrity and toward excellence. Additionally, the Stoic practice of self-reflection helps us stop overthinking by focusing our thoughts on positive self-evaluation and taking steps to improve. We learn not to fear making mistakes, but instead to make the best decisions we can at the moment, learn from the results, and improve our decision-making over time. This ongoing cycle of action, reflection, and change fosters a proactive mindset, helping us move toward our goals with clarity and purpose. Embrace the journey of self-reflection. By making self-reflection a regular part of our lives, we not only break free from mediocrity but also cultivate a mindset of continuous improvement. This mindset allows us to find value in every step of our journey and embrace the process of growth. As we reflect on our actions and thoughts, we align ourselves more closely with our ideals and move steadily toward becoming our best selves. In conclusion, self-reflection and continuous improvement are key practices in Stoicism that help us navigate life's challenges and grow as individuals. By adopting these practices, we can break free from the constraints of mediocrity, build resilience, and strive for excellence. Embrace the power of self-reflection and commit to a life of ongoing improvement, and you will see significant growth in both your personal and professional life. We also begin a lifelong journey of personal growth and fulfillment, creating a legacy of success that goes beyond our past. Lesson 5 is to learn discipline and self-control. Strive for these Stoic virtues to overcome patterns of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking. These virtues are essential to developing a mindset and lifestyle that lead to success and happiness. One important figure in Stoic thought, Epictetus, says the way to freedom is not to seek freedom itself, but to develop discipline and self-control. This wisdom suggests that controlling your actions and desires is the first step to truly controlling your life and its outcomes. By following strict rules in our daily actions, thoughts, and routines, we equip ourselves to break free from laziness and procrastination, which hinder our goals. In the Stoic sense, discipline is more than just following rules or schedules. It's about achieving a balance that aligns with your values and goals. It requires choosing the harder right over the easier wrong, waiting for bigger rewards instead of smaller ones, and staying focused amid distractions. Our ability to self-regulate and organize ourselves helps us handle life's challenges gracefully and direct our efforts toward our goals. Self-control is the skill of managing your feelings and wants in a way that aids your progress rather than hinders it. It means having the inner strength to resist short-term temptations to achieve long-term success. Learning discipline and self-control is also a powerful way to address overthinking. When we act quickly and with purpose, we leave less room for doubt and indecision. This proactive approach fosters an action-oriented mindset rather than a ruminative one. Decision makers act from strength and clarity, not fear or anxiety. These Stoic virtues help us break out of the cycle of mediocrity. But they also show us what is possible in our lives when we are disciplined and self-controlled. Lesson 6 is about the power of adaptability and accepting change, which helps you plan a path to meaningful and long-lasting success. To break the cycle of being average, feeling let down, and overthinking, one must use the Stoic virtue of adaptability. The Stoics, who understood how unpredictable life is, advocated accepting change to develop resilience and grow. Seneca, a great Stoic philosopher, said that being too set in our plans or expectations can cause suffering and frustration. He pushed for a flexible approach to life's challenges, advising us to change our plans and thinking when things change. We can handle life's difficulties with grace by adapting, turning setbacks into chances to learn and grow. In the Stoic sense, adaptability does not mean laziness or a lack of ambition, but a dynamic engagement with the present moment. It involves recognizing what is within our control and accepting what is not. By keeping our minds open to change, we can break free from overthinking and the disappointment of unmet expectations. We can change direction when needed and find new ways to act in line with our long-term goals and core values. This willingness to change and grow helps us move past mediocrity and find a success that adapts to life's ups and downs. Accepting change also fosters a culture of new ideas and creativity, which are crucial for striving for excellence. We develop resilience that is impervious to the fear of failure when we see every new challenge as an opportunity to learn and adapt. People around us are more likely to adopt the same mindset, benefiting our personal and professional growth. As we handle life's ups and downs with ease and confidence, we show others how to break free from cycles of disappointment and unfulfilled goals. Not only do we succeed, but also help move society toward one that is more flexible, strong, and successful. Lesson 7 is about why setting limits and making lists are important. Learning how to set clear boundaries and prioritize effectively is crucial for overcoming the cycle of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking. This is a Stoic practice. Stoicism, which stresses living in harmony with nature and focusing on what's important, teaches us the difference between what really matters and what doesn't. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius tells us to focus on what we can control. He suggests directing our actions, thoughts, and energies toward what is most important to us. With this method, we must carefully consider our commitments and choose to do things that align with our core values and help us reach our long-term goals. By limiting our time and energy, we avoid getting caught up in activities that lead to mediocrity. Prioritizing isn't just about eliminating unimportant things, it's about directing our attention and energy to achieve the most fulfillment and effectiveness. According to this Stoic principle, we should live purposefully, making choices that lead to success. This means saying no to some opportunities and tasks, not out of fear or laziness, but because we understand our resources are limited and must be used wisely. Setting priorities helps us manage life's demands with clarity and purpose, ensuring our actions contribute to personal and professional growth. This structured approach also aids decision-making by providing a clear framework. It's easier to make decisions when we know what's important and understand our limits. This clarity eliminates the mental clutter that often causes procrastination and indecision, allowing us to move forward with confidence. Setting limits and making to-do lists help us live a life of meaning and excellence, breaking the cycle of mediocrity and laying the groundwork for long-term success. This lesson from Stoicism helps us reach our goals with wisdom, self-respect, and peace of mind. Lesson 8 focuses on using failure as a building block for success. Changing how we feel about failure is key to breaking out of the cycle of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking. Stoicism teaches us to see failure not as a setback, but as a necessary part of success. By taking a practical approach to life's challenges, Marcus Aurelius's reflective writings tell us to gather wisdom from our mistakes and see each one as a chance to improve ourselves and our plans. From a Stoic point of view, we can shift our focus from the fear of failing to the understanding that every attempt is a learning opportunity. When we accept that failure is a necessary and valuable part of the path to excellence, we free ourselves from the crippling grip of overthinking and the fear of making mistakes. This change in perspective is essential to break out of the cycles of mediocrity and disappointment that trap those who don't dare to leave their comfort zones. Engaging with failure constructively also builds resilience, a quality necessary for long-term success. The Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, or thinking about bad things that might happen, helps us remain calm and determined when things go wrong. It prepares us for problems and setbacks, not to dwell on them, but to devise ways to overcome them. This proactive approach ensures that when we fail, we don't give up but instead analyze what went wrong, learn from it, and move on with greater strength and understanding. Viewing failure as a stepping stone rather than a setback transforms our path to success into a journey of continuous growth and self-improvement. Achieving great things and finding happiness is possible by breaking the cycle of mediocrity. Lesson 9 is about adopting the Stoic principle of self-sufficiency, which is key to success. The Stoic principle of self-sufficiency is deeply intertwined with overcoming the cycle of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking. Stoicism teaches that the only way to be truly free and powerful is to depend on yourself for happiness and satisfaction. Instead of looking for it in other people's approval or accomplishments. This idea, supported by philosophers like Seneca and Epictetus, advises us to build an inner fortress of strength and peace from which we can draw resilience and inspiration. By working on being self-sufficient, we give ourselves the tools to handle life's ups and downs calmly, ensuring our happiness and success are not dependent on external changes. To break free from the chains of mediocrity, this shift in mindset is essential. It moves us away from the never-ending search for external rewards and toward a more meaningful, virtue-driven life. A sense of clarity and purpose, crucial for overcoming overthinking and indecision, is also fostered by the practice of self-sufficiency. When we know we have everything we need to be happy and successful, it's easier to make choices. We are less likely to be swayed by other people's thoughts and expectations and more likely to follow paths that align with our true values and goals. Being able to think and act independently is a significant part of creating a successful life that rises above the mediocrity imposed by societal norms and personal insecurities. Through the Stoic practice of self-sufficiency, we gain the courage to define success on our terms and the resilience to support it in the face of setbacks. Lesson 10 is about how to get past being stuck in analysis by taking mindful action. To break out of the cycle of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking, Stoicism offers the idea of mindful action, which can change everything. This principle emphasizes the importance of making decisions and working on tasks with full awareness and purpose, rather than letting past regrets or future worries distract us. Marcus Aurelius is a famous example of this Stoic philosophy. This way of life teaches that we should do everything with a clear mind and focus, directing our energy toward meaningful goals. This kind of mindfulness in action helps us overcome the paralysis caused by overthinking. It frees us from the chains of indecision and procrastination that keep us stuck in mediocrity. By making it a habit to be fully present in our activities, we not only become more efficient and effective, but also find greater satisfaction in our accomplishments. We gain more pleasure from them, and practicing mindful action helps us feel more connected to our duties, leading to more enriching and satisfying engagement. This Stoic mindset reduces disappointment when our actions don't match our values. Aligning our actions with our beliefs makes each step reflect who we truly are, giving our lives integrity and coherence. By practicing mindful action, we handle challenges with poise and determination, viewing setbacks as growth opportunities. This breaks the cycle of mediocrity and starts us on a path to success marked by honesty, meaning, and deep accomplishment. We should carry the torch of enlightenment, learning from the timeless wisdom of Stoicism to navigate out of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking. Success doesn't mean having no problems. It requires the strength, resilience, and clarity to overcome them. By practicing Stoic virtues like mindful action, adaptability, self-reflection, and living true to our nature, we can redefine success and achieve our goals. Stoicism offers a different way to live in a world where oversharing is common. Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius and Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Seneca taught us the importance of keeping some parts of our lives private. Their lessons remind us to approach life's experiences with respect and tranquility, understanding that not everything should be public. Let's examine 7 aspects of life that, according to Stoic wisdom, are best kept private to help us live with virtue, resilience, and inner peace. The first is your inner citadel, introduced by Marcus Aurelius, which is a stronghold within us where we find safety and strength. No matter what is going on around us, our most private reflections, struggles, and victories take place in our personal sanctuary. Here, there is a unique level of privacy where the outside world can't see what makes us unique. We meet our true selves in the peace of our inner citadel, having conversations that shape how we see the world, what we believe, and who we are. Stoics believe this inner dialogue is essential for self-improvement and understanding our place in the cosmos. It's a constant process of improvement and reflection where we examine our motives, face our fears, and grow virtues like wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. This journey of self-reflection is not meant for the public eye. Discussing the details can make it less meaningful and distract us from true self-discovery. The inner citadel is also a refuge from the chaos of the outside world, a place for peace and clarity, away from others' opinions or expectations. Focusing only on our actions and responses is a Stoic practice that helps us understand what we can control and what we can't. We learn this in the solitude of our inner fortress. Knowing the difference between these two things is important for staying calm when life is uncertain. By keeping our inner citadel sacred and secret, we protect its power as a source of strength and resilience, helping us stay strong in our Stoic pursuit of virtue and inner peace. Our problems and challenges are deeply personal and transformative, shaping us in unique ways. Stoics say the details of our struggles should be kept private, not out of secrecy, but because our development is deeply personal. We are called to use virtues like patience, discipline, and resilience when facing problems. These times test our character and shape it in the fire of trial. Sharing every detail can distract us from focusing on internal growth and make us seek approval or sympathy from others. The Stoic way of thinking tells us to deeply consider our problems and use them to grow, recognizing that the real value of adversity lies in the strength and wisdom we gain from it. This process requires introspection and self-reliance. Keeping our struggles private protects our pride and gives us control over our story. In a culture that often glamorizes suffering, facing our battles with calm determination without seeking public praise or recognition gives us a quiet sense of dignity. This doesn't mean we should never ask for help or support. It just means that the specifics of our struggles are ours to own and work through. By doing this, we follow the Stoic principle of focusing on what we can change: how we think, what we choose, and how we respond to adversity. Stoics believe that keeping our challenges to ourselves is not a sign of loneliness, but rather a testament to the strength of the human soul. It reminds us that we often grow in the quiet parts of our lives when no one is around. When we accept our problems as they are, we can truly learn from them and use what we've learned to handle future issues. This way, you can develop resilience, self-reliance, and a deep sense of inner peace, all of which are crucial for navigating life's challenges. Third, what you think and feel about politics. Stoic philosophy emphasizes reason, self-control, and the search for inner peace. Talking about political views and opinions takes on a more complex role. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus wrote and acted in political contexts, with Aurelius being a Roman emperor. However, their teachings stress the importance of focusing on what one can control. Politics can cause much disagreement, so discussing political views can sometimes lead to unnecessary trouble, stress, and conflict, hindering a good and peaceful life. It might be best to keep your political views private to focus on personal growth and philosophical principles. Stoic philosophy advises protecting your inner peace and focusing on personal virtue. Keeping your political views to yourself can reduce the chance of external conflicts disrupting your tranquility. This approach doesn't mean you are uninterested in politics. Instead, it shows that you prioritize inner peace and rational conversation over potentially divisive public debates. By not participating in public political discussions or revealing your political views, you can interact with others more open-mindedly, fostering community spirit that transcends political differences. This reflects the Stoic principle of cosmopolitanism, which sees all people as part of one community based on mutual respect and understanding. Avoiding conflict and division, we create room for dialogue focused on shared human values and collective progress. This mindset encourages us to actively listen and consider different perspectives, enhancing our ability to understand and relate to others better. In doing so, we uphold the Stoic virtues of wisdom and justice in our interactions. But we also help build a society where differences of opinion don't hinder our pursuit of the common good and our humanity. Stoics believe ideas should be discussed rationally and judged on their own merits. Keeping political views private respects this belief. Stoicism encourages understanding and caring about others, promoting listening and thinking instead of trying to convince or follow the crowd. Choosing to keep your political opinions private can uphold Stoic ideals of wisdom and temperance, especially when political discussions can become polarized and unproductive. Fourth, your plans and goals. Stoic philosophy, as followed by Marcus Aurelius and others, emphasizes living a good life based on reason and virtue, focusing on actions rather than words. Stoics believe our plans and goals should be kept secret due to this principle. They place high value on resilience, patience, and adaptability, as the path to our goals is often filled with uncertainty and challenges. By keeping our plans and goals to ourselves, we can stay focused and maintain our inner tranquility while pursuing them without being distracted by others' expectations or early scrutiny. Stoics believe the only things we can truly control are our thoughts and actions, which is why they advise keeping ambitions private. Publicizing our goals before we're ready can expose us to opinions and negative feedback that might weaken our resolve or make us question our path. Additionally, the Stoic practice of focusing on the present and what we can change is harmed when we worry too much about future plans or others' opinions. The process of working towards a goal is as important as the goal itself, exemplifying the Stoic virtues of wisdom, discipline, and persistence. By not sharing our goals, we ensure our journey remains true to who we are and what we want, unaffected by societal expectations or passing trends. The Stoics also believed that modesty was a virtue and that quiet achievement was powerful. It's possible to be strong by working hard towards your goals without drawing attention to yourself. This approach lets you think more deeply about your journey, allowing you to make changes and learn from mistakes without worrying about others' opinions. The resolute path of private ambition challenges us to redefine success on our own terms, focusing on personal growth and the satisfaction of acting according to our values and abilities. In a world where success is often measured by visibility and recognition, Stoic philosophy teaches that keeping our plans and goals private is more important than seeking approval from others. It reminds us that the journey itself, the challenges we face, the virtues we develop, and the wisdom we gain along the way are what make true achievement special. This method protects our mental and emotional health, making us more determined to reach our goals. We give ourselves the space and freedom to pursue our ambitions with honesty, focus, and a strong sense of purpose. By following the Stoic practice of privacy in our plans, we gain the clarity and strength needed to find true and lasting happiness in the quiet of our own work. Fifth, the times when you feel most vulnerable, it might not seem logical to be vulnerable in Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes building personal virtue and resilience. However, Marcus Aurelius Seneca and Epictetus recognized the value of facing our own weaknesses and fears as a path to development and self-understanding. These moments of vulnerability are deeply personal events that shape who we are and how we handle life's challenges. Stoics would say these times should be kept private, not because they show weakness, but because the self-reflection and growth they promote are inherently personal. By keeping our vulnerable moments to ourselves, we can work through our feelings and experiences without others' judgment or influence. This solitude is perfect for deep reflection and self-discovery. To face our fears, question our beliefs, and ultimately find strength in overcoming adversity, we need to be alone with our thoughts and feelings. A big part of Stoic philosophy is this process, emphasizing the importance of mastering oneself and one's thoughts. Following the Stoic principle of focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, feelings, and actions allows us to deal with our weaknesses in private. The Stoics also know how important it is to rely on yourself and face your weaknesses without seeking approval or sympathy from others. This doesn't mean that getting help isn't a good idea, it just means the main journey of recognizing and overcoming our weaknesses is a personal one. Going inside to deal with our deepest fears and doubts is a sign of the Stoic virtues of courage and wisdom. You can practice Stoic ideals of calmness and courage in these private moments, helping you face the world with more strength and clarity. The Stoic practice of keeping times of weakness private deeply acknowledges how personal growth and self-improvement are. It tells us to see our flaws not as failures but as chances to learn more about ourselves and grow. By being honest about our weaknesses in private, we show the Stoic virtues of courage, wisdom, and self-reliance. This approach not only builds a strong and good character, but also ensures that our path to self-mastery remains genuine and true. In solitude and vulnerability, we find the strength and wisdom to live a life based on Stoic principles, grounded in virtue and the pursuit of personal excellence. Number 6. How much money you have. Stoic philosophy offers a different perspective on financial status. In a world where wealth and financial success are often displayed and openly discussed, Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus say that virtue, wisdom, and contentment are more important than wealth and visible achievements. Stoics believe that a person's character and pursuit of a good life are more important than their possessions when it comes to true wealth. Because of this, it is best to keep the details of one's finances private, whether they are wealthy, in debt, or somewhere in between. This approach encourages modesty, stops pointless comparisons, and keeps the focus on what really matters: personal growth and living an ethical life. By keeping financial details private, we avoid the distractions and potential judgments that come with financial disclosure, and we maintain a focus on the virtues that truly define our worth. This aligns with the Stoic belief that real wealth lies in the strength of character and the pursuit of a virtuous life. Stoic philosophy says we should focus on what we can control, like our character, actions, and how we deal with life's challenges. Keeping our financial situation a secret aligns with this. The Stoic principles of living a simple life and being content with what you have support the practice of keeping money matters private. We develop a sense of gratitude for what we have, regardless of how it compares to others. This way of thinking encourages a simple life where happiness isn't tied to money but to the quality of our relationships, the pursuit of wisdom, and the practice of virtue. Stoic advice to keep financial information private ensures that interactions aren't tainted by assumptions or biases, allowing relationships to grow deeper and more meaningful based on mutual respect, understanding, and shared values. Today, people are very focused on acquiring material possessions. This approach reminds us of the Stoic belief that a person's worth is not in their money but in their character and virtues. By prioritizing privacy about our money, we embrace a way of life that measures success in personal growth, contributing to the well-being of others, and pursuing wisdom. This supports the Stoic idea that real wealth is found in the quality of our lives and relationships, not the amount of things we own. Number 7. Your complaints and anger. Personal grievances and resentments are viewed through the lens of introspection and control over one's reactions in Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes reason, emotional resilience, and the pursuit of virtue. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all stressed the importance of overcoming negative emotions through understanding, forgiving, and realizing that only our reactions to external events can harm us. So, venting and holding on to anger are not only useless but also go against Stoic principles. These philosophers would say that such matters should stay private because discussing them publicly often exacerbates the situation and distracts from personal development and tranquility. Stoic advice says to focus on what we can control, which means keeping our complaints and anger to ourselves. By choosing not to talk about every wrong or unfair thing that happens to us, we reclaim control of our emotions and refuse to let outside events dominate us. This encourages us to reflect on our problems, work on solving them internally, and learn to forgive others and ourselves, maintaining our composure and peace of mind in the face of life's inevitable challenges. This process helps us develop emotional maturity and character. The Stoics also believe that actions speak louder than words, so by controlling our reactions, we embody the virtues we strive to uphold. The virtues we want to grow are shown by how we handle our complaints in private and by demonstrating resilience and forgiveness through our actions. In addition to benefiting our own health, this mindset might also inspire those around us to react more calmly to their problems, Stoic advice to keep our complaints and anger to ourselves teaches us the value of resolving issues within and the power to control our reactions to external events. It challenges us to rise above petty arguments and emotional upheaval, focusing instead on our own growth. By adhering to this principle, we develop resilience, forgiveness, and emotional intelligence, all of which improve our overall well-being and help us live harmoniously with the world around us. In the solitude of our reflections, we find the strength to let go of negativity and move forward with grace and wisdom. Let us use the wisdom from Stoic philosophy to enhance our daily lives. Protecting our inner sanctum, our hopes, weaknesses, and personal boundaries becomes a source of strength and serenity in a noisy world demanding our attention. Remember, the power of privacy is not in hiding who we are, but in honoring the sacred spaces within us that promote growth, wisdom, and resilience. Let these 7 pillars help us cultivate a garden of tranquility in our souls, where virtue thrives and peace resides as we navigate the busy crossroads of life. Just for a moment, imagine that the most important thing you can do to live a meaningful, happy life isn't something you can buy, earn, or get from others. It's already inside you, waiting to be found and used. This isn't just a thought experiment, it's based on the wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that has helped countless people find meaning, tranquility, and peace over the centuries. Stoicism teaches us that the key to a good life is not praise from others or material wealth, but the virtues we cultivate within. The chance to rise above them by embracing the virtues of temperance, courage, wisdom, and justice. Stoicism serves as a strong reminder that, despite the chaos and challenges of the outside world, we have a solid foundation for our own happiness and well-being within us. We need to peel away the layers of societal expectations and self-doubt to uncover the timeless Stoic principles that can change how we see the world and ourselves. This journey isn't just about improving ourselves, it's also about rediscovering our true worth and learning to live in line with our deepest values. If you're seeking personal freedom, resilience, and fulfillment, you've come to the right place. Sign 1: putting up with less than you deserve. We've all done it at some point. We settle and make concessions all the time, whether it's staying in a draining job, being in relationships that don't uplift us, or not pursuing our dreams out of fear. Why do we do that? Is it worry? Is it ease? It could be a mix of both. Stoicism teaches us that these external things don't define our true worth or essence. Whether in a palace or a prison, what makes us unique is not our location but our reaction to it. It means realizing that while we may not control everything in our lives, we do have complete control over how we think, feel, and act. When we settle for less than we deserve, we suggest that others and external things have more power over us than we do. Stoicism urges us to question this idea. It asks us to consider, is this situation in line with my values? Am I reacting in a way that reflects my true worth? If the answer is no, it doesn't leave us feeling hopeless. Instead, it empowers us. It says, look, you have the power to change your perception, to choose your response, and by doing so, to transform your reality. Remember this Stoic wisdom the next time you find yourself accepting less than you deserve. You are not your job title, your relationship status, or the size of your bank account. Your worth depends on how well you adhere to your values and always act with courage, wisdom, and honesty, no matter the circumstances. We shouldn't blame ourselves for our problems. Instead, we should give ourselves the chance to rise above them by embracing these Stoic virtues. But about acknowledging the virtues and efforts that made them possible. By doing this, we give ourselves the tools to see and take control of the things we can change. Let's not settle for less, not because we think we deserve it or are cocky, but because we know how valuable we are. The strength and resilience that come from knowing who we are and what we stand for will help us face life's challenges. This is how Stoics live. When we do it, we don't just live, we thrive. Sign 2, playing down your accomplishments. Recognizing our successes isn't just a way to feel good about ourselves, it's also a way to honor the hard work, discipline, and persistence that got us there. It's about keeping our promises to follow through on our goals and values. In Stoicism, virtues like temperance, courage, wisdom, and fairness are crucial. These virtues often help you reach your goals, no matter how big or small. It might have taken bravery to apply for that job, wisdom to handle challenges, or discipline, a form of temperance, to organize that closet. When you attribute your success to luck or say anyone could have done it, you're undervaluing not only the result but also the good habits that got you there. How then do we change this mindset? How can we start to be proud of our accomplishments without becoming cocky? Balance and honesty are essential to the Stoic way of thinking. You should tell yourself, yes, I worked hard for this. Yes, I faced challenges and overcame them. Yes, this achievement reflects my hard work and virtues. You do this not to boost your ego, but because it's the right thing to do. Now, think of something new you can do, no matter how big or small it is. Reflect on the positive actions you took to achieve it. You might have shown discipline, bravery by stepping out of your comfort zone, or wisdom to solve a problem. Whatever it is, take a moment to recognize it and the good qualities that led to it. This exercise is not about patting yourself on the back, but about seeing the truth of your character and work. Adopting this Stoic practice can change how we view our own successes and ourselves. It helps us stop being falsely modest and start truly appreciating our strengths and skills. When we recognize our accomplishments, it's not about feeding our egos. Instead, it's about being honest with ourselves and acknowledging the virtues and efforts that made those accomplishments possible. This recognition fosters a deeper understanding and appreciation of our personal growth and virtues. But about the good qualities we've shown and the hard work we've put in. Sign 3, putting the needs of others ahead of your own. It happens all the time, right? Sometimes it feels noble, selfless, and even heroic to stay late at work to help a coworker, skip your morning run to make breakfast for your family, or put your own dreams on hold to help someone else. Still, there's a catch. Putting other people's needs ahead of your own all the time can make you tired, angry, and lose your sense of self. If you try to fill cups from an empty pitcher, you'll get nowhere. You'll run out at some point. Being detached or self-centered is not what Stoicism is about. Stoicism places a lot of importance on being good and making society better, but it also shows us how crucial self-care is. Why? Because taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's what makes it possible to care for others well. Let's break this down a bit. Stoicism teaches us about the difference between what we can control and what we cannot. We are in charge of our own thoughts, beliefs, actions, and yes, even self-care. No matter how much we want it to be different, we can't directly affect the health and happiness of other people. What we can change, though, is how ready we are to help, support, and love the people around us. We need to start by taking care of ourselves. How much more patient, understanding, and present are you for the people in your life when you're well-rested, healthy, and at peace? How can you help their health and happiness even more effectively? Mental and emotional resilience are just as important as physical health in this situation. It means having the inner strength to care about others, give them good advice, and be a source of stability and strength for them. How then do we find this middle ground? how can we ensure that helping others doesn't mean we forget about our own needs? First, you have to realize that self-care isn't a luxury or an afterthought, it's essential. It means setting aside time for activities that rejuvenate you, such as working out, meditating, reading, or simply spending a few moments alone. By prioritizing self-care, you build the capacity to support others more effectively. Remember, taking care of your own needs first doesn't diminish your ability to help others, it enhances it. When you are well-balanced and strong, you can be the rock that others rely on without feeling drained or overwhelmed. This approach aligns with the Stoic philosophy of maintaining control over your own life and well-being, which ultimately allows you to contribute more positively to the lives of those around you. But we're paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong move. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to trust in our ability to make decisions based on our values and wisdom. By understanding that mistakes are part of the learning process, we can alleviate the fear that holds us back. First, let's address sign 3, putting the needs of others ahead of your own. It means being able to set limits and say no when necessary, not for selfish reasons, but to be our best selves for the people we care about. Think of one way you can prioritize your health this week. It could be committing to a daily walk, making time for a hobby you love, or setting limits on your work hours. When you take care of yourself, remember that it's not just for you, it ensures that you can be your best self when helping others. Sign 4. It's hard for you to accept compliments. Stoicism teaches the importance of viewing ourselves with an open mind, acknowledging both our strengths and weaknesses. Often we struggle to accept compliments because we focus too much on our flaws or fear that recognizing our strengths will make us seem arrogant. Stoicism, however, teaches that humility is about seeing ourselves as we truly are, without ego or insecurity. Accepting compliments gracefully helps us become more self-aware and objective, allowing us to recognize our virtues and efforts. To improve at taking compliments, start by changing your mindset. View praise as a reflection of your good qualities and hard work. When someone compliments you, take a moment to reflect on their words. Practice simply saying thank you without downplaying or dismissing the compliment. Use these moments for introspection. Ask yourself what actions or virtues led to this praise. This isn't about boosting your ego, it's about acknowledging the part of you that can achieve great things and make a positive impact. Sign 5, not wanting to make a choice. When faced with a seemingly easy choice, you might find yourself frozen, unable to decide. This fear of making the wrong choice often stems from a lack of self-trust. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control and to trust in our ability to make decisions guided by our values and wisdom. Mistakes are part of the learning process, and understanding this can help reduce the fear that paralyzes us. To overcome this indecision, practice trusting yourself more. Remind yourself that no choice is entirely free from risk, but each decision is an opportunity to learn and grow. When faced with a decision, take a moment to consider your values and the wisdom you've gained. Then, make a choice confidently, knowing that you are equipped to handle the outcomes and learn from the experience. In summary, Stoic philosophy provides valuable tools for personal growth and resilience. By recognizing our worth, setting boundaries, accepting compliments, and making confident decisions, we cultivate a life based on virtue and inner peace. This approach helps us thrive not only in our personal lives, but also in our interactions with others, fostering deeper, more meaningful relationships and a stronger sense of self. Is counterproductive. Instead, Stoicism encourages a balanced approach to self-reflection, focusing on growth and learning rather than self-criticism. Here's how we can apply Stoic principles to address the challenge of excessive self-criticism. Sign 6. Critiquing yourself too much. Stoicism teaches us how to make wise choices, particularly in how we use our minds. It emphasizes that punishing ourselves for every mistake is not helpful. Instead, we should strive for a balanced approach to self-reflection that prioritizes growth and learning over self-criticism. In addressing the fear of making choices. In the fog of uncertainty, Stoicism offers a lantern. It teaches us that making choices based on wisdom and reason is more important than being certain of the outcomes. We have full control over the decision-making process, but not over how those decisions turn out. This means making decisions aligned with our values, being honest, and accepting the results as part of life's natural course. Understanding the fear. What makes us afraid to choose? Often, it's the fear of making the wrong decision, which could lead to results we see as failures or mistakes. Stoicism asks us to change how we think about mistakes and failures. According to the Stoics, every outcome is a chance to learn and grow. Failures don't exist, lessons do. This perspective encourages us to trust ourselves and make choices with courage and confidence, knowing that the outcome, whatever it may be, will contribute to our growth and understanding. Building decision-making confidence. How do we learn to trust ourselves and get better at making decisions? The first step is to embrace wisdom and reason. Take time to think about your choices before making them. Ask yourself, does this choice fit with my values? Am I acting with integrity? By basing your choices on your core values and reason, you can be sure you made the best choice with the information available at the time. Learning from outcomes. Stoicism teaches us to accept the results of our choices and learn from them. Every result, even if it's not what we wanted, provides an opportunity to learn, reflect on what went well and what didn't, and use these lessons for future decisions. This process of reflection and learning builds self-confidence, reassuring us that we can navigate life's challenges, make value-aligned choices, and grow from each experience. Applying Stoic wisdom to self-criticism. Instead of critiquing ourselves harshly for every mistake, Stoicism encourages a kinder, more productive approach. Focus on what you can learn from each situation. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? This shift from self-criticism to self-improvement helps foster resilience and emotional intelligence. In summary, Stoicism provides practical tools to manage the fear of decision-making and excessive self-criticism. By focusing on what we can control, embracing wisdom and reason, and viewing every outcome as a learning opportunity, we can build confidence and resilience. This approach not only helps us make better decisions, but also promotes a healthier relationship with ourselves, enhancing our overall well-being and ability to thrive in life's unpredictable journey. We've been focusing on the wrong things, like trying to sail a ship without noticing the wind and tides. According to Stoic wisdom, perfection is a lie we can't reach. Instead, we should aim for progress, steady, deliberate steps to become better people. Why are we overly critical of ourselves? Often, it's because we hold ourselves to impossible standards we wouldn't impose on others. We forget that being human means having flaws, making mistakes, and learning from them. Stoicism offers a remedy for this self-imposed tyranny: self-compassion and the pursuit of progress over perfection. From a Stoic view, self-compassion means treating ourselves with the same kindness, understanding, and forgiveness we would give a good friend. It means seeing setbacks as a normal part of life, not as reflections of our worth. The Stoic way to handle failure is to ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? We need to change how we view our journey to adopt this mindset. Every effort means progress, even if the results aren't what we hoped for. Our mantra should be progress, not perfection. This doesn't mean we stop trying to improve. It means we understand that growth isn't always linear, is full of challenges, and is beautifully imperfect. Why is it so easy to compare ourselves to others? People naturally compare their worth and achievements to those around them, and this tendency is amplified by social media, where we see only the good times in others' lives. This makes us question our own experiences and their worth. Cultivating self-awareness and gratitude for our own journey is a powerful antidote to this gloom, which Stoicism offers. It tells us to look inward and reflect on our own growth, virtues, and progress. Stoicism encourages inspiration over comparison. It shows us how to admire others' good qualities and accomplishments without diminishing our own progress. To avoid the comparison trap, apply Stoic principles by being mindful and noticing when we start to compare our behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. We need to remind ourselves that social media is just a collection of carefully chosen photos, not a true reflection of life. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can change, like our actions, thoughts, and good qualities. These are the seeds of our unique journey. By taking care of these seeds, we can grow a garden full of personal meaning without needing outside approval or comparison. Gratitude is also very important. Practicing gratitude for our own experiences, challenges, and successes helps us stay present and enjoy how full our lives are. This doesn't make us lazy. It gives us the strength to seek growth and improvement from a place of contentment, not inadequacy. Sometimes we forget to do the things we want to do, like take a class, start a hobby, or take care of ourselves. This isn't just because we lack time or money. It's often because we don't see our own worth. It's like telling ourselves, "I'm not worth the trouble." Stoicism, with its deep insights into human nature and ethics, challenges us to see self-improvement as a way to respect ourselves. Stoicism tells us that our ability to reason and be good makes us unique, and that true happiness comes from working on these things. How can we start investing in ourselves? This begins with changing our mindset, which aligns with Stoic philosophy. We must see self-improvement as a crucial, non-negotiable part of our lives. This doesn't mean making big changes all at once. It means investing in ourselves in small ways over time. Simple steps could include reading a book about something that interests us, meditating for a few minutes daily, or starting a hobby that makes us happy. Reflection and self-examination are key lessons from Stoicism. They help us identify our strengths and weaknesses, guiding our personal investment efforts. Regularly reviewing our lives, setting goals, and assessing our progress gives us purpose and direction. It's important to align our actions with our values, develop our virtues, and live a life with purpose and meaning, not just to achieve external success markers. Accepting the idea of lifelong learning is also crucial. According to the Stoics, wisdom is not a destination you reach, but a continuous journey. A mindset of being interested and willing to try new things can change how we think about personal investment. It's not a chore, but an adventure, a chance to explore how much life has to offer in terms of knowledge and experience. Living in line with our values and principles is the only way to truly feel validated. The Stoics believed our actions, intentions, and responses were the only things we could really control. Marcus Aurelius beautifully reminded us that what bothers us is not other people's opinions, but how we think about those opinions. Why do we seek approval from others? Often it comes from feeling insecure and afraid of not being good enough. In a world that constantly tells us what we should be, do, or have, it's easy to lose our way. Stoicism, however, tells us to turn our attention inward and work on improving our character and living a good life. It teaches us that real happiness and peace don't come from others' approval, but from knowing we've been true to ourselves. How can we break free from the chains of outside approval? The first step is self-awareness. By recognizing our tendency to seek approval, we can begin to question why we do what we do. Are we working toward a goal because it fits with our values or because we want praise? Stoicism teaches us to regularly reflect on our intentions to ensure they align with our values. Developing self-sufficiency is another Stoic practice that helps us fight the need for others' approval. This doesn't mean shutting ourselves off or not caring about others. It means being happy and content with ourselves and realizing that we are whole just as we are. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, said we should focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. When we work on being happy inside, we depend less on outside sources of approval. Stoicism also tells us to change how we think about success. It teaches us that we shouldn't judge our success by awards or praise from others. Instead, we should judge it by how well we live our lives according to our values. According to our values, the pursuit of virtue, the application of reason, and the development of resilience in the face of life's challenges are important components of success. From a Stoic perspective, being able to handle bad situations is crucial. Why do we often put up with bad situations? Most of the time, it's because we don't believe we can change. We may fear the unknown, cling to what we know, or doubt our worth. Stoicism challenges these fears and doubts by helping us see our value and how much control we have over our actions and thoughts. It tells us to question the belief that we are stuck and to understand that we often have the power to change our situations or how we think about them. Stoicism provides tools to navigate and change our circumstances. Developing internal resilience and autonomy is a crucial Stoic practice. We shouldn't be indifferent or detached. Instead, Marcus Aurelius suggests strengthening our inner citadel to stay strong and true to our values, even when things are bad and chaotic. Building a strong inner core makes us less vulnerable to external negativity and more capable of making healthy decisions. Living in harmony with nature is another Stoic principle that can help us. This means seeking harmony in our lives and the world around us. It involves creating environments that promote our growth, health, and happiness. It means recognizing that we deserve respect, kindness, and good interactions with others and choosing not to settle for less. In real life, finding environments that help us grow could mean setting boundaries in personal relationships, seeking new job opportunities, or changing our social circles to include more positive and supportive people. It also means dedicating time and effort to creating personal space by journaling, meditating, or engaging in hobbies that benefit our mental and emotional health. What makes fear so strong? Often it's because we vividly imagine what we have to lose: failure, wasted time and effort, and how others might judge us. Stoicism acknowledges our fears but asks us to consider what we have to gain. We are encouraged to compare our fears to the opportunities for growth, happiness, and realizing our dreams. Stoicism teaches that the pursuit of virtue, doing the best that fits our nature, is a worthwhile goal in itself, regardless of the outcome. To overcome the fear of following your dreams, one Stoic practice is to imagine bad things that might happen, known as negative visualization. This involves thinking about worst-case scenarios today, helping us prepare for and manage our fears, but not to dwell on them. The goal is to make them less powerful over us. We often find that our fears are not as scary as we thought when we consider the hard things that might happen and accept that we can get through them. This doesn't mean we stop caring about risks or become careless. Instead, it means we approach our dreams with a balanced view, knowing that failure is possible but not the end, it's a step on our path to growth. Amor fati, which means love of fate, is another Stoic idea that can inspire us to follow our dreams. This idea encourages us to welcome whatever life brings with joy, not just resignation. When we follow our dreams with amor fati, we open ourselves to all kinds of experiences, including successes, failures, joys, and disappointments. These are all normal parts of being human. This acceptance frees us from the fear that holds us back and lets us move forward with courage and determination. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of acting in line with our own strengths and abilities. It reminds us that our real worth doesn't come from what we've achieved, but from our commitment to living a good life and working hard to reach our goals with honesty, courage, and integrity. Being afraid to follow our dreams not only prevents us from succeeding, but also stops us from living a life that is truly ours. Why do we forget this basic lesson from Stoicism so often? Part of the reason is that we naturally want to connect with others and feel important. If we're not careful, this can make us seek our worth in the reflection of other people's opinions or in the milestones of success we reach. Stoicism, however, teaches us that real worth comes from living in line with our nature and virtues. Epicurus said it well, the best way to be free is not to get what we want, but to get rid of what we want. This principle greatly impacts how we think about our worth. Real freedom and happiness don't come from others' approval, but from living according to our values. But from understanding and accepting our own worth. Stoicism tells us to stop focusing on what we can do for other people and start working on improving our character. It teaches us that our worth is not based on the titles we have, the money we earn, or the approval we get, but on our commitment to live a good life and always act with honesty, kindness, and courage. Accomplishments and praise do matter, but they do not define our value. Our worth is inherent and unchangeable, like the stars in the night sky. Realizing this frees us from constantly seeking approval from others. What can we do to develop this calm sense of our own worth? It starts with self-reflection, looking inward to recognize and value our strengths, efforts, and resilience. Recognizing that our skills, character, and potential are the real measures of our worth is crucial. Practicing gratitude for these qualities is important. It also means learning to separate our sense of worth from others' opinions, which can change, and from the temporary nature of accomplishments. This distance is not indifference. It's a way to focus on what truly matters in the big picture of our lives. Our feelings of inadequacy often stem from past traumas, societal norms, or personal failures. We compare our journey to others, seeing only the best parts of their lives while being acutely aware of our own struggles. This comparison, fueled by the false belief that happiness is a limited resource only given to those who deserve it, makes us doubt our worthiness. Stoicism teaches us to discard these false ideas and understand that happiness is not a reward but a way of life. It asks us to reflect on our values, ensure our actions align with them, and find joy in the pursuit of virtue and the practice of reason. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and reactions, and let go of what we can't. This helps us deal with feelings of not deserving happiness. This perspective empowers us to create our own happiness through our daily choices and attitudes. How can we adopt this serious way of looking at happiness? It starts with changing the story we tell ourselves about being worthy. We need to challenge the idea that happiness depends on accomplishments, approval from others, or perfection. Believing that happiness comes from being good, making the best decisions we can, and enjoying the present moment is a healthier mindset. Stoicism also emphasizes the value of gratitude. Practicing gratitude helps us appreciate our journey and the virtues we cultivate, reinforcing our sense of self-worth and inner peace. When we practice gratitude, we shift our attention from what we lack to what we have, from scarcity to abundance. This change in perspective is crucial for feeling deserving of happiness, as it allows us to recognize the good things, opportunities, and potential in our daily lives. Stoicism reminds us of the importance of friends and family. Finding happiness is not a solitary journey. By building meaningful relationships and supporting each other, we understand that our worthiness for happiness is bolstered not only by ourselves, but also by the love and wisdom of those around us. Now, let's delve into the human mind and untangle the knots that hold us back from being mentally strong. We'll face these shadows by drawing on the ancient art of Stoicism and emerge as architects of our own strength. Often we get caught up in the illusion that we can control external events because we cling to this illusion of control. In the maze of our thoughts, where shadows dance, it's a tempting lie, a mirage that draws us into a world of fake omnipotence. The profound truth that Stoicism reveals is that we can't change the things that happen to us, but we can always change how we react to them. Epicurus, speaking through the ages, reminds us with timeless wisdom that while we can't control external events, we can control our reactions. This insight illuminates the darkness of our skewed perceptions. The most important part of Stoic wisdom is not trying to control the external world, which is a constantly changing mosaic we can't grasp. Instead, true resilience comes from controlling how we respond to life's unpredictable threads. This revelation is where our power lies. We can shape our futures, not by battling the uncontrollable, but by mastering our inner world. When we face life's storms, the Stoic path helps us navigate them. It teaches us that while we don't control the chaos around us, we do control our reactions to it. We use the chisel of our reactions to carve meaning from the raw materials of circumstance, like an artist shaping a work of art. Epicurus advises us to stop trying to change the external world to fit our needs and instead focus our energy on controlling our reactions. By doing this, we uncover a source of strength, resilience, and untapped potential, rather than engaging in a futile struggle against uncontrollable forces. The Stoic journey is an inner journey towards self-mastery. When life is full of unknowns, Stoicism shines like a lantern, showing the way to self-mastery despite lingering shadows. Accepting the Stoic revelation frees us from the false allure of external control. We are in charge of our own lives, not by seizing power from the world, but by mastering ourselves. But also liberate our spirits to live more fully. By shaping our responses with the timeless wisdom found in Epicurus's words, we can transform our approach to life's inevitable challenges. Seneca, a revered Stoic philosopher, emphasized this when he profoundly stated, "He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a man who is alive." These words, echoing through the corridors of time, reveal a truth that transcends the mortal world. Seneca urges us to face the inevitability of death with courage, viewing it not as a source of fear, but as a catalyst for a richer, more vibrant life. To fear death is to live in the shadows, a prisoner of fear that prevents us from truly living. Seneca serves as a torchbearer, guiding us out of this dark realm. He encourages us to accept death as a companion that makes our lives more meaningful. When we acknowledge the brevity of life, we free ourselves from the dread of an impending end. The specter of death, once a terrifying presence, transforms into a silent muse, inspiring us to savor every moment with boundless zest. This paradoxical truth that accepting the inevitability of death frees us to truly live demonstrates the profound wisdom of Seneca. The Stoic call to release ourselves from the fear of the unknown opens a world of endless possibilities. It acknowledges that the human spirit can achieve incredible heights when confronted with mortality. Letting go of the fear of death allows us to build a life unbounded by the darkness of what lies ahead. Seneca's words carry not just philosophical significance but transformative power, urging us to cultivate resilience to navigate life's complex tapestry. By accepting our mortality, we confront our limitations and simultaneously unlock our potential to live with greater purpose and joy. But we also awaken the dormant powers within us that allow us to leave a legacy lasting beyond time. When we heed the call to overcome our fear of death, we open the door to a life illuminated by the beauty of our own finite existence. Seneca's wisdom becomes a lighthouse guiding us through the darkness, giving us the strength to forge a path that connects deeply with the vitality of the human spirit. By accepting life's temporariness, we find the true power to live fully, free from worries about what lies ahead. In the vast theater of human existence, the search for external validation casts shadows that envelop the soul in insecurity. Marcus Aurelius's profound wisdom shines through this darkness, reminding us it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. These words, offering timeless enlightenment, call us to realize that the constant need for others' approval fosters insecurity, entwining our self-worth with the fleeting judgments of others. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic king and philosopher, urges us to look inward, away from the world's transient praise. True strength, he says, lies not in the fleeting words of others but in the fires of self-approval burning within our own convictions. Seeking external validation relinquishes control of our identity to random judgments, causing us to lose sight of our true selves. Marcus Aurelius implores us to break free from this self-imposed prison and look deeply within. True strength is built in the sacred place of self-approval. It's not the praise of many that makes someone strong, but staying true to their own principles and values. Recognizing our own worth feeds the internal fires, where the authentic self is shaped and improved. The whispers of approval from others are short-lived, like echoes fading into the distance. By turning our attention inward, we walk a path illuminated by the steady flame of self-validation, resilient against the winds of others' opinions. This inner strength protects us from the shadows of weakness, allowing us to stand firm against the world's transient judgments. Marcus Aurelius's Stoic wisdom calls us to reclaim our time from the pursuit of approval. Understanding the value of each moment, we cease wasting our life's currency on seeking unattainable external affirmations. Instead, we invest in the wealth of self-approval, building resilience that outlasts the fleeting nature of praise from others. But a vast expanse of true contentment. When we embrace Marcus Aurelius's wisdom, the shadows of our weaknesses fade, and the light of self-approval illuminates our path. In this inner sanctuary, we discover a lasting strength, unaffected by the opinions of others. Let's heed the call to turn our attention inward, where the unquenchable strength of the human spirit finds its enduring flame. In the complex maze of our desires, we embark on a dangerous journey, where the siren calls of unbridled want threaten to drown out the sounds of reason. Fear not, for the Stoic path, a light of wisdom in this maze, urges us to silence the tempting whispers that lead us astray. The ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgments about them. Desire, with its alluring allure, can become the maze that traps the unwary traveler." The Stoics, influenced by Epictetus, teach us that what holds us back is not the events themselves but the judgments we make about them. To navigate this maze with wisdom and resilience, mastering our desires becomes a rallying cry. To master desire is not to extinguish the fires within but to direct them with purpose. It calls us to distinguish between short-lived desires that lead to temporary pleasures and long-lasting goals that align with our true selves. In the furnace of self-mastery, we learn to differentiate between the transient shadows of want and the enduring light of fulfillment. The chains of never-ending desire, forged in the fires of unchecked want, weigh heavily on the spirit. With Epictetus as our guide, the Stoic sage advises us to break free from these chains by moderating our desires. In this freedom, we do not find a lonely void but a vast expanse of true contentment. By tempering our wants, we open ourselves to a deeper sense of satisfaction and peace, unfettered by the relentless pursuit of fleeting pleasures. Stoicism teaches us that true fulfillment comes not from indulging every desire, but from cultivating a disciplined and purposeful life. By embracing this philosophy, we free ourselves from the tyranny of external validation and ephemeral wants, finding instead the strength and serenity within. Through self-mastery and inner reflection, we become architects of our own strength, capable of navigating life's complexities with resilience and wisdom. But a place where the true self can emerge, free from the chains of unquenchable desire. The path of Stoicism turns into a pilgrimage, an inner alchemy journey, where desires are transformed from cruel masters to obedient servants. During this transformation, the traveler is freed from the ego's constant demands and is able to navigate life's maze with grace and purpose. When we heed the Stoic call to control our wants, we discover a profound truth: we have the power to write our own stories. Events that happen around us become opportunities for growth and self-discovery rather than chains that bind us. Epictetus, in his sage wisdom, tells us that suffering is not caused by events themselves, but by how we interpret them. The Stoic soul finds comfort in the silence that follows the noise of unrestrained wants. Once a confusing maze, the labyrinth of desire transforms into a sacred place where clarity rules. Taking control of our desires is where the Stoic path shows its transformative power. This power frees us from the labyrinth's traps and allows us to walk forward with purpose, resilience, and a strong commitment to our soul's deepest desires. In the vast cosmic tapestry, there are forces that try to stop the flow of change, but change is always present, shaping the very fabric of the universe. Reflective souls, attuned to the beat of the cosmos, find comfort in Heraclitus's profound teachings, particularly the phrase "change is the only constant." These words hold timeless truth, illustrating how everything is always changing. We must pay attention to change, for it is like an ethereal maestro conducting the symphony of life. Stoics, drawing from Heraclitus, advise us to accept the ever-present nature of change with an open mind. To resist the ebb and flow of change is to face an unending void, a chasm that threatens those who stand against the cosmic current. Through the light of Heraclitus's wisdom, the Stoic path invites us to surrender, not to the void, but to the beautiful river of existence. We find deep serenity in this surrender, an oasis amid life's storms. To navigate this river of change with grace, letting its currents carry us to new shores of experience and understanding, we must accept its inevitability. To fight against change is to fight against the very nature of existence. The Stoic soul, however, chooses a different path, one of acceptance and harmony with the cosmic dance. In surrendering, we become skilled dancers, moving in sync with the intricate choreography of change, finding beauty in its flow. Life is like a river that takes us through landscapes of joy and sorrow, growth and decay. The Stoic finds resilience in embracing this journey, which transcends the transient nature of the material world. By embracing change and mastering our desires, we cultivate an inner strength that allows us to face life's challenges with courage and grace. The Stoic wisdom of figures like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus guides us to find peace and purpose within, making our lives meaningful and resilient in the face of an ever-changing world. The void that the stubborn soul feared would consume them turns into a vast canvas where the Stoic paints the masterpiece of a life well lived. Accepting change is not passivity, it is empowerment, realizing that never-ending change is where growth, wisdom, and self-discovery can be found. Stoic souls float on the currents of acceptance, allowing them to navigate the river of life with a tranquility that those who desperately cling to the shores of sameness cannot achieve. The ancient philosopher Heraclitus taught us a timeless truth: change is what makes the universe go round. The Stoic finds deep serenity in accepting that everything in life is transient. Aligning with this heartbeat means dancing with the cosmic rhythms of change, embracing the sublime beauty of life. Comfort is not found in still waters of resistance, but in the river that flows continuously toward the endless horizons of our own becoming. If we don't pay attention to the power of now, in life's grand symphony, the present moment becomes the most beautiful and valuable note, full of the possibility of joy, fulfillment, and deep meaning. Often we get stuck in the echoes of the past or anxiously look ahead to the uncertain beats of the future. However, life is best lived in the present. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, invites us to seize the day, enjoy the harmony of the present, and understand that true happiness lies in enjoying the present without worrying about what will happen in the future. The present moment, like a fleeting melody, holds the essence of what it means to live. Life happens in the present moment, where the symphony of sensations, emotions, and opportunities blends to create a one-of-a-kind experience. Yet, because minds tend to wander, people often get stuck in the hallways of the past or project their worries onto the canvas of an uncertain future. Seneca, without losing his Stoic clarity, tells us to let go of our worries about the future and cherish the present moment. The pursuit of true happiness, he says, lies not in the hazy promises of the future or the somber reflections of the past, but in the rich, vibrant reality of the present. By embracing the now, we can experience life's fullness and beauty, making each moment a testament to a life well lived. But by mastering their inner responses to them, rather than being swept away by the chaos, the Stoic remains grounded, embodying resilience and tranquility amidst the storms. This Stoic ethos, a call to inner strength, is encapsulated in the words of Epictetus: we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond. Seneca's wisdom encourages us to live in the present moment, fully engaged with the notes in front of us. This mindful engagement is not merely a call to action to seize the day, it is a way of life that transcends the fleeting nature of time. By immersing ourselves in the richness of the present and drawing joy from each moment, we free ourselves from the weight of regrets and the anxieties of what lies ahead. This practice brings a deep serenity that can only be found in the present moment. Philosophy, for Seneca, involves developing a presence of mind that heightens our awareness of each moment. He advises that true happiness is found when we stop being captives of time, when we stop looking forward to future rewards or dwelling on past mistakes. Reaching a state of mindful equilibrium means knowing that everything changes and savoring the beauty of the present moment. Seneca's advice to seize the day is an invitation to relish life's symphony, to appreciate the melody of each moment and understand how it fits into the orchestral masterpiece of our lives. His words serve as a guiding refrain, reminding us to pay attention to the present, enjoy the harmonies of now, and recognize that true happiness is a melody written in the key of mindful living. This melody grows with each note we choose to hold on to and enjoy in the constantly changing score of our lives. When life gets rough, the Stoic warrior remains calm within, allowing external storms to rage without disturbing their inner peace. They are models of resilience, unaffected by the chaos around them. The Stoic path is not about changing the outside world but mastering how we respond to it. This inner mastery, taught by Epictetus, is about choosing our reactions to the unpredictable tapestry of life, composed of both happiness and sadness. By focusing on internal responses rather than external circumstances, the Stoic warrior navigates the complexities of life with grace and strength. This approach transforms life's challenges into opportunities for growth and self-discovery, enabling us to live a life rich in purpose and fulfillment, undeterred by the inevitable fluctuations of fortune, but is constructed from the resilient fibers of our thoughts and attitudes. Epictetus tells us that realizing we have control over our reactions is a very empowering idea, central to Stoic resilience. Building castles on shifting sands is like clinging to the illusion of external tranquility because the world is always changing. Stoics, on the other hand, look inward because they know that true and lasting peace doesn't depend on the random events of life. Instead, it is a fortress built in the depths of the soul, a safe place where external storms cannot penetrate. The Stoic warrior doesn't hide in a false utopia of unbroken serenity or deny the existence of external challenges. Instead, they face chaos head-on, knowing that their inner strength is key to their overall well-being and happiness. The Stoic soul develops its fortitude in the face of adversity. Even if we can't change the things that happen around us, how we react to them determines our fate. The Stoic warrior learns to deal with chaos in a way that transcends it. Through disciplined self-reflection, they become not victims of their circumstances, but creators of their own fate. Cultivating unshakable inner peace is a deliberate practice, an art form that demands commitment and resilience. It means training the mind to distinguish between the temporary chaos of the outside world and the deep, lasting calm that resides within. Through this inner alchemy, the Stoic warrior learns that real mastery is not in controlling the storms, but in riding them out with a calm and peaceful mind. Epictetus tells us that the Stoic warrior's journey is a call to accept the contradictions of life, to know that while we can't control what happens in the outside world, we can strongly control how we react to it. In this dance between chaos and calm, the Stoic warrior stands as a symbol of the strong human spirit, one that can choose the steady path of inner peace and resilience, even when life is rough. If we ignore the inner citadel within, we miss the opportunity to cultivate the fortitude needed to withstand life's challenges. In the crucible of the soul, where the fires of experience shape our core, stands an inner fortress, an impregnable bastion that can withstand the chaos that flows through the corridors of existence. Many have spoken of this over the years, but Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor of Stoicism, poignantly said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This profound statement invites us to strengthen the citadel within, because that is where our real strength lies. The birthplace of the inner fortress is the crucible of the soul, a metaphorical place where life's challenges shape who we are. Marcus Aurelius lights the way to this sanctuary, an inner stronghold that cannot be damaged by external storms. This safe place is not made of bricks and mortar, but of the resilient thoughts and attitudes we cultivate. By embracing this wisdom, we build a fortress within that stands resilient against the tempests of life, enabling us to navigate existence with a serene and steadfast spirit. but from the things we think, believe, and perceive. Marcus Aurelius said that to strengthen this citadel means to understand the power that lies within us, the power that comes from the way we think. True happiness, according to Stoic philosophy, is not dependent on outside circumstances but on how we feel inside. The inner fortress thus becomes a sanctuary where happiness is not tied to external events, but is a flame that ignites from within when we choose how to understand and react to life's many aspects. It is essential to guard this sanctuary because within its walls lies the source of our true strength. Marcus Aurelius envisions the Stoic warrior not as someone who stands against the outside world, but as one who unwaveringly defends this inner stronghold. It is a call to fiercely protect the sanctity of our thoughts by developing vigilant mindfulness, ensuring the fortress remains impervious to forces that might try to breach its walls. According to Marcus Aurelius, the richest part of a happy life is not having a lot of things or enjoying short-lived pleasures, but being in charge of your inner world. In this wisdom, the Stoic path encourages careful and deliberate management of the mind, transforming the fiery furnace of the soul into a stronghold that cannot be broken by life's ups and downs. Realizing the power of our thoughts gives us a deep sense of independence and the ability to shape our own lives. The Stoic way of thinking strengthens our inner fortress, serving as an anchor in the rough waters of life, granting us the strength to handle storms calmly, find joy in simple things, and navigate life's maze with unwavering purpose. By heeding Marcus Aurelius's plea, we embark on a journey of self-fortification, delving into the core of our thoughts and beliefs. As we strengthen the inner citadel, it becomes an unbreakable source of strength and a lighthouse of resilience, guiding us through life's challenges. In conclusion, the Stoic philosophy teaches that our true strength and happiness come from within. By cultivating a vigilant and resilient mindset, we can build an inner fortress that stands firm against life's unpredictability. This inner sanctuary is where we find the power to live a life of purpose, joy, and serenity, regardless of external circumstances. Protect it with all your might, because inside its walls lies the key to a happy and fulfilling life, a treasure trove of happiness that can't be touched by changes in the outside world. As we walk the path of life, we realize that the script we follow is not solely of our own creation. We are living in a vast cosmic theater where everyone plays their parts on a stage that transcends time and space. The Stoic sage Epictetus said something profound: we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. In this wisdom, we are invited to let go of what we can't control, to tune our senses to the cosmic symphony, and to submit to the ebb and flow of the cosmos. When we think of ourselves as actors on a cosmic stage, we can see how grand our lives are, like a story where fate and cosmic forces shape our journey. Realizing that our script isn't completely our own is a freeing realization that urges us to relinquish the illusion of full control and embrace the mysteries of our existence in the universe. Epictetus, known for his Stoic ideas, draws our attention to the balance inherent in our bodies. The fact that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth serves as a powerful reminder to listen more than we speak. This wisdom teaches us to listen not just with our physical senses, but to tune into the wisdom that flows through the vastness of the universe, finding hidden messages in the music of life. Being humble means listening twice as much as we speak. It means realizing that the universe speaks in whispers and that deep insights may come to light in the silence between our words. It means admitting that giving up the need to control every story lets us be open to the lessons woven into the cosmic fabric, which is full of universal truths. The Stoic advice to let go of what you can't control becomes a sacred mantra for all time. It tells us to release the weight of pointless resistance, loosen our grip on the false promises of power, and let the dance of fate unfold in our hearts. By giving up, we align ourselves with the universe's natural rhythms and stop fighting against the current. Instead, we become part of a beautiful ballet, gracefully riding the waves of life. This isn't a sign of giving up, but a sign of deep understanding that our greatest power lies in accepting what we can't change. Giving in to cosmic forces helps us find balance, allowing us to move with purpose and poise, riding the waves of fate instead of fighting their pull. We embark on a journey of receptivity and surrender, heeding Epictetus's wisdom and accepting that our story is just one thread in the cosmic tapestry. By listening to the whispers of the universe, we find guidance, comfort, and a stronger connection to the vastness of existence. This wisdom enriches our lives, fostering a profound sense of peace and resilience as we navigate the complexities of the human experience. But something you do with others, drawing on the collective wisdom of the Stoic community, letting go of what we can't control, tuning our ears to the cosmic symphony, and dancing with humility and grace in sync with the flow and ebb of the cosmic current is the essence of walking the Stoic path. Embarking on this sacred odyssey is a personal journey of self-discovery and building unwavering resilience. As the famous Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "He suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary." This saying resonates through the hallowed halls of Stoic wisdom, calling those ready to find their inner strength. Act swiftly, learn from the teachings of the Stoics, and make your way to the sacred place of resilience. Carry the flame of Stoicism with you as you navigate the maze of shadows within a flame that burns eternally, guiding you through life's challenges. Seneca's timeless words remind us that suffering need not be an unnecessary burden. Instead, it can be a crucible where we test and strengthen our resilience. On this holy journey, the path to mind control is illuminated by the unwavering Stoic flame. Walking the Stoic path is not a solitary endeavor, it is a communal journey. The echoes of Seneca's wisdom unite us, showing that we are not alone in our quest for inner strength. Together we form a community of seekers, each navigating the complex terrain of the soul with the same purpose. This shared journey binds us in a silent agreement that transcends the shadows we each face. As we follow the bright path of Stoic wisdom, it cuts through the darkness, dispelling the false ideas that hinder our progress. The teachings of Stoicism lead us to the shores of inner strength and resilience. We find comfort, inspiration, and the strength to face our shadows in the Stoic flame. Finding inner strength is not a solitary endeavor, it is a shared journey. By embracing the collective wisdom and support of the Stoic community, we enhance our own resilience and fortitude. Together, we walk the path illuminated by the eternal Stoic flame, discovering the profound strength that lies within each of us. It's a goal we all share that ties our individual journeys together. May the echoes of Stoic wisdom reverberate through all our efforts, uniting us in a common goal. Let us emerge from the labyrinth not as lost souls, but as shining lights of resilience, illuminating a shadowy world. We learn from the crucible of the Stoic path that suffering can be transformed into a force for good when faced with the resilience that comes from wisdom. Seneca's advice becomes a guiding star, helping us distinguish between necessary and unnecessary suffering and use the Stoic flame as a lighthouse to show us the way. Let's take this holy journey together, strengthening our inner fortresses with Stoic principles and shining like beacons of resilience in a world seeking comfort in the dark. As we wrap up our 3-hour journey into the heart of Stoicism, I hope you feel empowered, enlightened, and equipped with tools to navigate life's ups and downs with newfound resilience. We've traversed through the principles of Stoicism, from understanding what's within our control to embracing obstacles as opportunities for growth. The wisdom of the Stoics is timeless, offering clarity in our often tumultuous lives. Remember, Stoicism isn't just a philosophy to study, it's a way of life to be lived. The transformation you seek begins with small, consistent steps. Whether it's practicing mindfulness, reflecting on your daily experiences, or choosing to respond to challenges with calm and rationality, every effort counts. I encourage you to revisit these teachings whenever you need a reminder of your inner strength and the tranquility that can be achieved through Stoic principles. Life is a continuous journey of learning and growth, and Stoicism provides a solid foundation to build upon. Thank you for spending these hours with me, exploring how to transform your life with Stoicism. The journey doesn't end here, it's just the beginning. Continue to seek wisdom, practice virtue, and live a life of purpose. Remember, the best time to begin your Stoic practice was yesterday. The next best time is now. Let's carry forward the lessons learned and create a life filled with peace, resilience, and fulfillment. Farewell, and may your path be guided by the light of Stoicism.